2010 had already been a disastrous year for Haiti when a cholera epidemic erupted a few weeks ago that's killed over 700 people in the countryside and is spreading to the capital, Port-au-Prince, where millions of people live in wretched conditions. A perfect breeding ground for the water-borne disease to flourish. This latest disaster couldn't have come at a worse time. Haiti was already struggling to recover from last January's earthquake that killed 300,000 people. To help it get back on its feet, nearly half the households in America donated money, and countries from around the world pledged billions. We traveled to Haiti to see what's happened since then, and we were surprised to find how little progress has been made.
The story will continue in a moment.
Haitians called this makeshift encampment the Carrefour Median for obvious reasons. It's situated precariously on a 10-foot wide median sandwiched between two lanes of a busy highway in Carrefour, a huge city on the outskirts of Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince. Even by Haiti standards, this place is incomprehensible. The camp was started out of desperation in the chaotic days following last January's earthquake. If you can believe it, residents actually saw this as a safe haven. Since then, the population's grown from just a handful of people to 3,800 who called this median home. When we got to this tent, a woman who lives here with 5 other people invited us in.
How do 6 people live in here? You sleep in here?
So 4 people sleep this way and 2 sleep this way. So you have 2 horizontal and 4 vertical.
This has also been 7-year-old Jean Edwards' home for 10 months.
What do you think about living here?
It's not good. I'm afraid of a car.
With good reason. Outside, traffic races by at breakneck speed, a few feet from where children play. A camp leader told us nearly 30 people have been hit by oncoming vehicles. 10 were killed, 3 of them children.
It's not easy.
Almost no government official has ever come here. So when we showed up with the mayor of Carrefour, Yvonne Jerome, he got an earful.
What are you saying? They need food. And I said to them, we're not there to give them food. We're trying to get them a better place to live, but not provide them food.
But Mr. Can you even call this living?
No, it's not living. It's not living. They're just there. They just explained to me yesterday there was an accident right there. A baby was get hurt by a car.
The international community has promised to give Haiti more than $5 billion. $5 billion, but yet these people are living on a median.
With newspaper, with TV news, everything, I can hear about the number of the money, not see the money.
A step up from the Carrefour Median is Jean-Marie Vincent Park, the largest tent camp in Port-au-Prince. It's a city within a city, home to 50,000 people. Main Street, shopping, fresh water. But this is no oasis. Conditions are deplorable. With people living on top of each other, the camp has become a breeding ground for domestic violence, gangs, rapes. There are row after row of outdoor latrines, women washing clothes, children bathing in canals. Ever since these camps sprung up, conditions have been so unhygienic, there were fears they could become a breeding ground for waterborne diseases like cholera. Fears that came true on October 22nd when an epidemic of cholera struck the remote countryside. Haiti's prime minister is Jean-Max Belry.
Were you surprised when the epidemic erupted?
Yeah, sure. It was
scary?
Yeah. My biggest concern was that the capital, Port-au-Prince, was seriously touched for the concentration of the population and the condition a lot of the population are living right now. So I was afraid.
At first, the epidemic was only in the countryside, where David Walton, an American physician from Boston, has worked for 13 years.
It went from a few cases of diarrhea that were quite suspicious to, all hands on deck. This is an epidemic of the proportions of which we have never seen before in Haiti. There were 60 cases of acute watery diarrhea that we had heard about. The next day, 24 hours later, 500 cases.
All right, what is this now?
Just gloves, just to make sure.
Dr. Walton works for Partners in Health, a U.S.-based international health organization that operates 15 hospitals and clinics in Haiti. This one, La Colline, is the only hospital for miles. While we were there, a 16-year-old girl named Manushka had just arrived. It had taken her a full day just to get here. She had all the classic symptoms of cholera. Cholera is an acute intestinal infection caused by drinking contaminated water. If not treated quickly, it can kill in a matter of hours. So Dr. Walton and his Haitian colleagues rushed to start Manushka on IV fluids and a life-saving mixture of ordinary bottled water, sugar, and salt.
These are not ideal medical conditions.
These are not ideal medical conditions. When this hospital was built 3 years ago, we did not envision a crisis of this proportion.
Since the epidemic began, the staff here has treated over 550 cholera patients. 5 have died. Friends and neighbors of this woman were praying for her to live.
Look, we're going to get through this. However we do it, we're going to do it, but there is a way forward. We have to. There is no other way. We're not going to lay down and die. It's going to be slow, it's going to be tough, it's going to be agonizing, but we will make it through.
To help Haiti make it through, the international community created the Interim Haiti Recovery Commission last April. Its mandate to control and coordinate the monumental job and the billions of dollars to rebuild nearly everything here. Haiti's prime minister serves as one co-chairman. The other co-chair is an American who honeymooned here 35 years ago.
Your plate was full before the earthquake. Why take this on?
I took it because I know more about Haiti and I spent more time there than almost any other American figure. And so I know a lot of the leaders and I understand the culture better than a lot of people do. And I love the place.
Former President Clinton brings clout, credibility, and power to the job. Power to attract donors and get countries that pledge money for Haiti to pay up.
Does it frustrate you, make you angry, the lack of funding moving in to get things done?
It's all frustrating because people are suffering down there. I'm frustrated we don't have more jobs and investment. I'm frustrated we hadn't fixed all the ports and airports. My job is just to push as hard as I can and get as much done as quick as I can.
Frustration describes how almost everyone here feels. 10 months after the quake, the lack of resources and funding have hampered everything. More hands than machinery and heavy equipment are removing the rubble that's choking the city. And so far, only 19,000 of the 130,000 temporary shelters the UN says Haiti needs have been built. And nobody is more upset at that than Haiti's prime minister, who says it all boils down to money. And a lot of it hasn't arrived yet.
Simple terms, of the $5 billion plus that's been pledged to Haiti, how much have you received so far, percentage-wise?
Let's say 15, 20%.
15, 20%.
Yeah.
So how much of a factor is the lack of funding?
A big factor. Right now, we don't have the budget or the financing to remove the rubble that has to be removed.
You don't have enough money.
No, clearly not. Clearly not.
You lose sleep over this?
Well, I worry about it a lot because I don't want anybody to die because of the floods. But I just want the people who are watching this program to understand that it's not like anybody's really been asleep at the switch down there.
There is widespread perception that the recovery is going so slow. Why is that? Why is it taking just so long?
This was a natural disaster that hit the country in a highly impacted, dense urban area. Now it's covered with rubble, which has to be cleared as you do the rebuilding. Housing always takes the longest.
Housing is Anton de Vries' specialty.
It is going to be this piece here.
De Vries is the construction manager for ADRA, the development arm of the Seventh-day Adventists, who've been working in Haiti for over 25 years. De Vries, a South African engineer, had supervised the construction of 1,300 temporary shelters financed by USAID and was ready to build a lot more when he ran into an unexpected roadblock, the Haitian government.
Is this warehouse normally this empty?
No, this warehouse should be packed to capacity right to the ceiling,
full of stuff for the immediate displaced people, waiting out there to be helped, which we can't do because our containers is stuck in port.
When we were there in August, 24 containers loaded with his building materials, enough to build 1,200 temporary shelters, had been stuck for months in this special customs area in Port-au-Prince because of a bureaucratic glitch.
I've got a list of each container when it left United States. Before the container arrives here, we already have all of that documentation with a packing list from the beginning. So there's no information that anybody needs that we don't have.
To prove his point, De Vries took us to his office and showed us some of his paperwork and a $6,000 check written to the Haitian government to pay an imposed storage fee.
How does that make you feel to know that? Very bad, very sad, frustrated. If it was your mother or your child waiting for 5 months in a small little tent and somebody come and say, I will help you, give you a shelter, no problem, but I can't because your material, your government is holding in the port. Will I be happy? No.
Prime Minister Belrive did not know the specifics of De Vries' situation, but his office oversees Haiti's ports and customs.
We don't charge for any goods given to the Haitian people when it's done properly.
Period.
Period.
So in this case, then you're saying that there's something they haven't done properly.
Exactly.
Since we interviewed the Prime Minister, all but one of the containers has been released. According to Anton De Vries' office, the problem was a missing government seal, a minor problem compared to the cholera epidemic. The official death toll surpassed 700 this week, and there are fears it could get out of control.
I can tell that makes you angry.
It makes me frustrated. I can understand if there was another earthquake that happened, but cholera? You know, it seems like the insults never end.
In Haiti, the insults never end.
In Haiti, the insults never end.